Welcome to your awakening. Please take off as your reality is adjusted.
And action.
Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't mentioned the ladies and the gentlemen for a while, or not both together in one time.
The Gentiles.
Yeah, got to be careful with these words now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Might have to go to special thinking classes. But yeah, welcome back again, folks. Another edition of Solid Excalibre on this Moon Day evening, and I suppose I should do the good morning global digital gulag panopticon virtualized existence that you are now being forced into. I suppose the one thing that you can at least take a certain amount of solace in is the reality will be reinstated once people get dragged into a war situation. Because, you know, when bombs are falling on your houses, you can't exactly claim that's AI. Yeah. So when we get dragged further into the conflagration that's spreading steadily, I should say, it's not exactly been rapid so far, but it is escalating steadily. You know, when we get dragged further into that, people at least will have a bit of a confident ability of recognizing the difference between real and fake. You look at stuff online and they'll show you clips of talking heads like Rubio saying something, and then afterwards somebody will claim that it's AI, and it could be, but like the clip you included in your, was it today, the Daily, or yesterday's day? I can't remember which one there.
Yeah, today.
Today's.
I had the Rubio clip in yesterday, and then the
That's
AI thing. Yeah. Because,
So
it looked a bit odd. I think they use AI, just like we said with Netanyahu.
We predicted this years ago, yeah.
So
when they would create a combination of some real and some faked videos, so that it creates such confusion that the whole idea is to make people give up even trying to figure out which is which. So that you just abdicate any interest in the situation because you feel that you can't find any resolution to it.
And they think like, okay, well, I don't have to stand in front of a camera and do 10 takes of fucking saying the same shit over and over again. Just tell the AI, be a Rubio.
Yeah, give it a script, and you don't even have to.
Yeah, because the script is official. The text is on the official White House. So,
but even that text
that legitimizes it. Yeah.
Somebody like Rubio could have sat there and gone, get it to say something about these subjects.
Israel.
Give like keywords, and then the AI would just write the speech for him, and then it'd do the video for him as well. This is the stage we're getting to. Maybe I shouldn't even say getting to. I think this is the stage we are at.
Yeah.
Because we're now.
It's like a body double as well, right?
Yeah.
Like a digital body double they have now. He's in Minnesota doing a speech. Here he is. Meanwhile,
they claim they've got digital versions of all of us, obviously to a varying degree of accuracy based on how much data they've got about each individual, but they are literally building a virtualized copy of the world, like a digital Magna Carta of everything and everyone. That's like the body, the internet of bodies and all those kind of concepts all wrapped up into one system, one data system. They claim they're doing that for all of us. So do you think they've not got very detailed files on all these so-called leaders and influential people, etc.? Of course they have. Yeah, extensive to the ability of they probably already have virtual clones in database ready to be used for different personalities, for exactly that kind of reason. But anyway, been jumping straight in and digressing straight off the bat, because as per usual, it's been a fairly busy week. And when I was considering about what to talk about tonight, or what subjects to mention, what events to mention, I went through the usual thought process, which I've been doing repeatedly for years as well. Is it more worth my time and obviously other people's time to talk about the problems, because, you know, everybody can easily talk about the problems, may not necessarily have any good things to say in the sense of informationally or philosophically, or, you know, in the sense of wise commentary or whatever, or critique on a situation. It could just be they want to express their fucking anger and frustration and vent their spleen at something. But it's getting to the stage now where even that is, how much time do you spend accounting for another week's worth of the circus taking place, which more and more people, thankfully, are starting to realise is literally just that, just a big fucking circus show to steer the population's thinking and activity and energy? Or do you spend your time talking about what most people refer to as solutions, which I've spent many broadcasts talking about in one way or another, and also making the point a few times that there's an expectation of simplistic solutions that will just be like a list, a bullet point list of do this, do this, do this, do this, and then the world will be fixed and everything will be great. If you think it's that simplistic, you're only partially right. At the most fundamental level, yes, it only requires some simple things to take place. But as we know, our world is built of complex layers, layers of complexity that increase as you go through the fractal reiterations of the situations. So expecting a simplistic solution to just work straight away and easily, so that you could just go, oh yeah, tonight I'm going to fix the world, love. I've got my blueprint. We're going to do part 1 at 6 till 7, and then at 8 till 9 we'll do part 2. Yeah, it doesn't work like that, does it? And we're having to deal with forces and influences and what's the word for it? You're not dealing with reality. You're dealing with principalities. You know, you've got these processes of a system that has been running for many hundreds of years in its current iteration. You cannot expect to walk in and just flick one simplistic switch and make it change or make it stop. There's certainly a simple way to make most of it stop overnight, and that's a general strike. I've talked about that many times, and so many other people pointed that out. But when it comes to talking about solutions, often what people want really, or what they're asking for, is solace or compassion. They're looking for somebody to give them a hug and tell them everything's going to be okay. You know, things will get better. You know, join the club. We're all working towards trying to make things better. So, you know, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop feeling down and depressed and negative. There is positive things going on. So often I find what people are really looking for is that kind of energy infusion. You know, they want to be reinvigorated because everything's gotten on top of them and they're feeling oppressed and suppressed, etc., etc. Yeah, a lot of pressing is going on. Yeah, general strike. I do agree, mate. I think it's really the only sensible, non-violent solution. And
now we still have workers, so
oh yeah,
this might be the last chance that we can have a workers revolt and shit.
I will see what you mean. Yeah, in that respect,
robots.
Yeah. Before the robots fully take over, yeah, this is the lost opportunity to express the power of your labour.
Yeah.
Because once they perfect these automated systems, there will be no use of that power anymore, which is a big reason why the cabal, the controllers, the demographic of psychopaths want this. This is why they're so desperate to initiate this, whether we like it or not. They don't give a fuck if we like it or not. They want it because it will give them such ultimate power. They will never have to worry about us taking the world back from them ever again. Potentially. That's not a truism per se, but that's the way they perceive it. That's
COVID be a lesson, right? Because there they would fucking strangle you or punch you in the fucking gut if you didn't wear a mask.
Yeah.
So.
And they'd certainly happily throw you in a cage. Reiterating the point, the power of your labour is one of the few non-violent ways that we still have to influence what is happening in the world. voting for a different political face doesn't really make any difference. Certainly not in the long run. It might make some short-term difference. As many people have pointed out over the years, you might get some changes done when you're working on a local politics level, to a degree, but the bigger system still chugs on. And when it comes down to it, arguing over left or right politics or which particular politician you do or don't like is like arguing over crunchy or smooth on your shit sandwich. You're still going to get the shit sandwich. So I'm not saying that you should completely ignore politics, not at all. But hello, Paula, you made it in. Cool, hello.
Hiya.
Hiya.
I don't think it's a sensible idea to completely ignore politics, but you certainly should not let it be the priority influence on what you do with your life. Take notice of what the shit they're talking about and the things they're trying to implement, the policies and whatever. But you are the final authority in your own life, not the bullshit that they're pumping out. And certainly not the claims that you have to pick one side or the other to be on the right side of history. That's bollocks. That's another false dichotomy that they feed us as we're growing up to get us into that authoritarian mindset that makes us all statists. Because that's the only way their system sustains, is because the majority of the population believe that their authority rests with the state, and that the state has to do all these things, and it's needed and it's necessary and blah, blah, blah. So the ultimate trick of the parasite is convincing the host that the parasite's existence is necessary for the host to survive. It's not, absolutely. That's why it's defined as a parasite, because it literally is not required by the host for the host survival.
Well, and as soon as you know how to play the game, they'll change the rules.
Yes, moving
Right?
goalposts.
So you're always fucking chasing something. Yes. And everything we do is like fixing all the loopholes as well. Like, oh, wait a minute, they found a way out. Yeah, damn it.
They like to give us little problems to solve because it partly makes us think that we're doing something against them.
Yeah.
But it also obviously keeps us occupied for a certain length of time. And when they give us little conundrums, like I say, not only does it capture people's attention, it unfortunately, because of the nature of, I feel it's the nature of people to do this, it's just part of the survival drive. But people fall into competitive mindsets where they compete with each other, even if they're doing it subconsciously, unconsciously. They're competing with others to either have the most knowledge on this particular subject, or be the first person to cover it, or to publish an article on it, the first person to have a book on it, or whatever it is. We have, as humans, we have that necessary drive to reach excellence against each other. We play ourselves off against each other in that kind of competitive fashion that we do, but that is meant to be beneficial to our survival probabilities. So that's why I say I think it's a natural thing to happen, but the system has learned to exploit it to the point where they know they can throw an idea or a chunk of information into the public discourse, and then they can lean over to the people on the left and say, oh, the people on the right think they know more about this subject than you. So the people on the left, ego-driven people on the left, will go, oh, right, shit, yeah, we need to learn about this, find out more data, more info. So they spend a lot of their time and energy trying to pursue this topic and to become more knowledgeable and capable than those on the right. And the arms race continues in that respect.
May I add something?
Yes.
I could be wrong, and you'll put me right if I am. But
it could be
me, but if the information we get overload of information, and if you're in your own peace, this is what I was trying to explain. Like if you've got roots and you can calm yourself and you know in your own space, they don't like that. So there's so much information out there. Human beings, in my opinion, are overloaded with, like you said, pit A against B. A and B might be getting on, so we'll find C to add to an argument. It's the old adage of pick your pick your battles to win the war, but there's more battles now than there ever was, and the war is kind of like on the distant horizon. It's like an achievement goal. We'll finally get everyone over that precipice. We'll get them to the abyss where they got a huge amount of people, like a tsunami of people behind them, and even if they're teetering for a moment, they just jump left or right because they really are unsure of their own foundations. Does that make sense in a kind of way?
Yes. Yeah.
This is what I see it, because we're not
I-
meant to have this amount of information flooding into our brains from 20, 30 years ago. That's why
Yeah.
people get triggered and they get like about shit that is really unimportant to them, but they think it matters at the time. Especially falling arguments with people, finding arguments or reasons to disagree rather than reasons to get on and to find peace. That's what I see it as. I mean, that's just my little input there.
Yeah, definitely. I was very tempted. I bit my tongue, even though I've got no teeth. I can still sort of like clamp my gums on my tongue. But I nearly shouted out the Alex Jones catchphrase, "There's a war on for your mind." That's old school from back in the days of when InfoWars was first taking off. Yeah, that was one of his popular catchphrases that spread the idea. There's a war on for your mind, which is true. He wasn't bullshitting. It's just obviously he's doing his usual kind of sales pitching, carnival barking, as they call it. Yeah? But also, I'd say that in that respect, the system is very good at doing that kind of forcing people into destabilization. That's I think the main methodology that emanates in different ways, but it's the same core principle methodology of you need to create two opposing sides, because the power differential, the energy that's created between the two polarizations is where you get the power from. So if you can make those polarizations go really far apart to like really extreme levels, the energy that's created in the middle gets bigger. Think of it as like the more you stretch it apart, the universe tries to bring everything back together. That's what it does, or to an equilibrium. It's not necessarily that the two will join together, but they will find an equilibrium balance, a dance.
Would you agree
that if you can separate them more, you get more energy generated by the fact that they're so separate? Go on. Yeah.
Would you agree that it's got, you use the words faster, quicker, press faster, quicker. That we're not old, but we're old enough to remember that the headlines, like from a newspaper, would take 12 to 24 hours for people to start chattering, banging their gums together. Blah, blah, blah. Now it could be like a headline drops in people's what do you call it? The social media or whatever,
media feed.
and then by say 12 hours after that first initial headline dropped into the feed of people's energy, by 12 hours later, the energy that it's garnered with people's interest and their input has exacerbated, particularly since I don't know, it's hard to explain. The last 10, 15 years, it's really thickened the amount of input for the headlines. So people are bamboozled with bullshit, and then you get people like confused. So it's kind of they got so much more to deal with. They're not actually using like a sift to get through the shit to actually find the nuggets of information. We've gone so quick, that quicker, faster. People don't have time to absorb it, to take it in, or even have a critical thinking about it. They're told what to think and how to think. As I said, but the news headlines, we might have thought, do you know, that's fucking weird. Yeah, society and bullshit. But a lot of people are sucked into that. They don't realize that they can have a third course, meaning their own thoughts, their own thinking, which I don't think people, the faster, quicker generation, don't even take a minute to have a think how they actually feel. I don't know, you might disagree.
I don't disagree, but I do think we have to acknowledge or allow for the change in the technology that we've experienced in our lifetime. So for us, when you said the last 15 years, the last 15 years is the rise of social media, literally. That's pretty much the timeline of the rise and the dominance. What has become dominant is what we refer to now as social media.
Yeah, I was
back
trying to think
15
back.
years ago, there was literally hundreds of different websites like that where you
Mhm.
could join and they'd cover different subjects, like some of them being a bit more specific, some being more general. And you could have forums where people would have discussions, people would share pictures, videos, social environments. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as we started to refer to it more and more social media, and this coincides with the development of mobile device technology as well, so smartphones, as
Yeah.
they became more capable and you had the touch screens and the tablets and whatever, that also created an acceleration effect for that development of social media, because the developers, and we know now, we've had this confirmed by various 15 minutes of hate. We've had it confirmed by various whistleblowers from the different software houses like Google and Apple and whatever, and Facebook. We know full well that they deliberately coded these platforms to be entrapping in one way or another. They were addictive in many different ways. So they as a business model, they needed to try and guarantee a captured audience. Yeah. So implementing systems, this to me is not unexpected. It's the same kind of problem you experience when you visit a very popular tourist location and you get sucked into that tourist trap environment of the little sort of enclave of businesses, restaurants, shops, gift shops, etc., that focus you in, and they try to keep you in that little center. Yeah. These platforms did the same, but given time and people's use of them and the way they were keyed into the smart devices for the scrolling style of interaction on those devices, because that's different to how you interact with a browser on a PC. Yeah, that created this development of what we now call social media, and that I think is intrinsic to what you're describing. We experienced it in a kind of oppressive or aggressive fashion because we come from the analog demographics, the analog generations. So to us, we've experienced this rapid development of all of a sudden, everything we knew about life is being filtered down to these simplistic platforms where they focus people's attention in such a way that you get that kind of what they call doom scrolling addiction. That clip I showed is the equivalent, but TV media version. From our day, when in our day, I did, back in the 90s, I was fairly addicted to watching 24-hour news channels like CNN, whatever. So in the same manner, it was the same kind of thing, just provided by a different technology. But as the technology has progressed, so has the sheer amount of data that's being directed at us. And that really is the core of what you're describing, I think, is people have got to the stage where they haven't got time to try and figure out which bit of information is true or not, because there's more information coming in the door.
And they've got
it's a glass is already full, but the tap is still on, and the water's still, and the water's just spilling out. There's no time to, do anything with what you've already got in the glass.
That's a great analogy, because if your bath is really full, absolutely, like,
you need to turn the tap off, don't you?
Yeah, and if you sort of use a thimble, I'm using this as an analogy, to empty the bath out, the information is too much. People, I think I'm losing this sound.
I can still hear you. Okay.
We can hear you. Hello.
Can you hear us?
Paula.
F to Paula.
Can't hear
Whoosh.
you.
No.
No, she can't hear us.
No. No whoosh.
Maybe try reconnecting.
Yeah.
I'm saying it and you can't hear us, so you wouldn't hear me. Let me type it in the chat quickly. And we're already nearly half an hour in, and I hadn't even said hello to everyone. I meant to start doing it, and then we got distracted.
Well, everybody's here. That's good.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Oh, she's done it now anyway. I have to
yeah.
in. It's a wonder somebody hasn't got that as an account name, everybody. I know some people have tried to have the account name of nobody,
Mm.
I don't know if you get away with that on platforms like YouTube. Nobody came, nobody helped, nobody dealt with the problem. Everyone vote for nobody, because that's the only one that ever does anything. It was a little bit of a meme however long ago. But yeah, hello everybody, welcome back again to another night of digression and discussion. Low quality production. I think that seems to be one of the key points that possibly is the reason why we don't get any interaction from the rest of the so-called independent media and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're such a low quality production, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mascara. Hello for James. Hello again, Paula. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, cool.
Hey.
So, hello, James. If you're listening, I hope you're feeling all right. Maybe you got a bit of this warmer weather. Notice I didn't say sun because I know you're in Scotland, so you don't get sun. But maybe you just got a bit warmer, yeah, just a little bit. Hello, Frank. Thanks for joining in. I'm glad you got your Rumble sorted. Yeah, they just want you to register. That's all it is, so that they're legally protected. Yeah, that's what most of these platforms do now. You have to register in some fashion just so they legally protect themselves, because then they can put all the blame on you. You know, if you've done or said something naughty, they can just give your details to the authorities, and it's all your fault then. You know.
Yeah.
So if you told them you're born whenever, you're looking very sprightly for that age, right?
I can hear you again now.
109? No, more, 119.
No, 20,
yeah.
20 something, yeah.
I mean,
19, yeah.
You'd be creaking a bit at that, I think.
Yeah.
No, 19 and 100. Roberto, word mate, thank you for the rhyme. Was it yesterday or was it Saturday? I'm losing track of my weekends. They've become a bit of a blur recently. But
we're in August now, Cookie. I know that. We're in August.
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
Welcome to the end of summer. It's still a little bit warm though, but that's nice.
It's fucking hot here.
Very lovely.
It's not too bad here. It is a bit warmer, but it's not as hot as it was.
We do need some rain. We do need some rain here down here. We need some rain. Yeah, it's getting a bit dry now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hello, Mascara. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the music. Yeah, Mascara's now been doing his daily videos for a year and a day. He put up an extra video today. Yeah, so check it out.
Thank you, Martin. We appreciate it.
And Mahatma, hey up, mate. Glad you made it in the chat.
Hi, Mahat.
Rebecca, hello. Thank you for the videos as well.
Yeah, and the shares. Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed the moon ones. Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah. And Lynn Yufeka, good evening. Thank you for being in the chat, and Blazing's in the chat as well. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Lynn Yufeka.
Hello.
You fucking fucker.
Fucker.
Somebody fuck you. Optimus, hello. Oh, there's plenty that's up at the moment. Saying what's up. Angry North, good evening, mate. Thanks for joining in the chat. I was playing your totalitarianism song again last week. It's just the Andy Burnham thing, I think, is just we've taken another step towards the INGSOC, as in English socialism from Orwell's 1984. Yeah, and I think Andy Burnham is just another example of that kind of bureaucratic corporatism. Anyway, good evening, Paul. Thanks for joining in the chat. And hello to Sue as well if she's listening in. Thanks for the videos. Scrolling. Hello to all the lurkers and time travelers as well, of course. If you're tuning in to the live, Scrolling. Apologies if I miss anyone out. I'm trying to hurry up with my scrolling because we've already gone more than half an hour into the. Oh, that's you, Paula. Michael, good evening. It's just the sudden the change in the icon caught my eye, and it's like, hang on a minute. That's obviously your avatar in the chat room.
Just trying to catch up myself here with the chat. Yeah, I felt the autumn coming on for sure. Yeah. Definitely, there's just you can feel it if you're in tune with nature. You can feel it for sure. The light is changing so quick.
Essentially, this is harvest month, isn't it? Really, for a lot of the produce, the agricultural cycles. And it is the height of the summer, the end of the summer, the dog days, as sometimes referred to.
Yeah.
Although that's more towards the end of the month, isn't it? But still scrolling. There's far too much chatting going on.
You're not doom scrolling there, are you, Cookie? You're not wasting your time doom scrolling.
It could be, considering, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just looking at names and icons to try and make sure I'm not missing anyone out. I'm not actually.
And there's one at the bottom. It's the last one.
Dustin?
Nit said, good evening, mate. Dustin, thanks for joining in.
Just looking to see
here. Right. Like I said, hello to anyone if I missed you out. Apologies, but yeah. Okay, I've got to the end of the chat.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining in the chat, listening in, giving us your attention for a couple of hours or so. Longer if you join in the after chat, because we often spend another couple of hours just chatting in the after chat. Yeah. But to go back right to sort of what I was trying to say initially before we started digressing, talking about the particular subject matter that's related to this, but that choice I was going through in my head of like, do I talk about the events that have been happening or do I talk about solutions? Yeah. And then I started thinking like, well, why am I even considering splitting them in this kind of fashion? Isn't that really part of the technique like we discussed where we were digressing on the subject? They want you to be confused. They want you to pick a side. They want you to feel that you can't deal with all the information, therefore you should just shut it off and ignore it completely and let them get on with what they want to do with the world, with your world. Yeah, it doesn't belong to you individually. It belongs to all of us. It belongs to our children. Yeah, so they want you to just shut up and sit down and not interfere with what their plans are and what they're trying to get away with. So this is generally how my thinking usually concludes. It's like, you shouldn't separate the two. You can't focus on one or the other alone. And there's plenty of people who do, for example, focus just on the solutions. They don't talk about the stuff in the news. They don't talk about the big picture of what's going on in the world, but they tell people about things they could be doing that will have a long-term beneficial effect. Things like the power of your labor and explaining those kind of philosophical arguments and points, but also practical knowledge like how to do gardening, how to do guerrilla gardening in an urban landscape and stuff like that. So there is a wealth of information out there that you can get access to if you want to, if you choose to, if you feel that's where you want to invest your energy to get whatever you get back from it. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. But to me, you can't have one without the other, because there are people in positions of influence and what is generally referred to as positions of power. It's power because they have influence over others to do things for them. That's the power of influencing other people to do the shitty things that you want done just to get your own way. And to me, it's just as important to keep an eye on what those fuckers are doing, because even if you don't like it, even if you think they're wrong, even if you disagree with everything they stand for, they are in the positions of influence and power over others. So if you just sit back and do nothing, they will literally come and take all your stuff off you and eventually just kill you because you're in the way. They don't give a fuck. They've got no compassion in that sense. You are just a number. You're another log that they will throw on the fire to fuel their engine. So to me, you have to keep an eye on them to make sure that they're not encroaching right up to your doorstep and are likely to do something that will have a direct impact on you and your life and the people you love. So doing one or the other is not the right thing to do. I think you have to be able to look at this information, hopefully discern some of it, because as we've been talking about here, there is so much information available at your fingertips now, and a lot of it is pretty much instantaneous from all around the world. You can literally tune into live streams from pretty much anywhere in the world. At the touch of a few buttons, a few clicks of your mouse or whatever, a few dabs on the screen of your device, you can be linked into people who live on the other side of the world from you. That is an immense amount of information and knowledge available to you 24/7, as long as your device is working and the internet is working. That's a key of a point of interference that the system can intercede on. It's another part of the reason why they want us all in this digital environment, because they know then that gives them the power of having that switch to turn you off and isolate you. We've seen more incidents of that recently with people being cancelled and debanked and that kind of thing. And that's becoming somewhat accepted and normalised. This is just the way life is now. If you post something online that somebody finds offensive, you could potentially be arrested and prosecuted. You could have your bank account cancelled. You could be prevented from using any electronic devices. We're supposed to be in this age of amazing technology. We're in the future. Hello, Fruit Khan. Hello in the chat. Yeah, we're supposed to be in this amazing technologically advanced future. But in a similar fashion, like I've seen it described. I think you showed the promo clip for that movie, the sort of documentary movie. The global coup with what's her name, Solaris Report woman.
I'm blanking too. Sorry.
Yeah, her name is on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't think of it off the top of my head now. But yeah, the clip they showed where they're talking about how this thing is creeping up on people in such a way that they don't realise how they can be basically surrounded into a kind of inverse prison system where you yourself, your physical self, is not necessarily locked up, but everything, every service, every item, every commodity that you might want or need is behind some kind of locked key that you have to request permission to get access to. So in other words, being able to buy food. If they introduce digital ID systems and stuff like that, where you can't purchase in a shop unless you're using a digital ID system to do so, that could literally shut you out of being able to buy everyday necessities, food. That kind of inverse prison system where things are there right in front of you, but unless you've got the required digital keys, you can't access it. You're not allowed to take it off the shelf. You're not allowed to pay for that service or whatever it might be. And we are rapidly getting to a stage where that infrastructure is in place now. So I can't remember where I was going with this original point.
Can I just say it's not just that, it's the connectivity with any communications, whether it's a phone call, everything's got to be done online. So being able to speak to a human being, not just at the till or car parking attendant or anything else, anything like that, you removed not just one step, but two steps, because you go through the machine, so you doom scrolling, you spend hours on the phone waiting for someone to connect. But then when you get through to a human voice, they don't have the ability to deal with whatever it is you're trying to deal with. They then have to go back onto the computer and ask permission because they're unable. Like we used to know when we were working on the work face, the coal face, if a problem was presented with you, you had to think. You actually had to think how to solve that problem. And now the offsetting of solving problems, it goes into that like machine. So the amount of energy you give that machine, so you don't actually get a result. That's why people are frustrated and angry, because you don't get to speak to someone who can resolve it. So it's diluting us as an energy force. Even one person standing up against the machine, you need lots of us to stand up, lots of us to say no, whether it's not accepting I don't know, like people not being at a till, or not being able to speak to a local authority, not being able to get hold of your utilities, where your money goes and your energy goes, not being able to have anyone to account for that, let alone politics or healthcare. We're just talking about the everyday getting through life. You feel you need you need an Excalibre, you need a fucking great sword to chop down the shit before you can actually see the path in front of you. There's so many obstacles just to get through life in a daily thing. That's what takes people's energy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was the point I was trying to reiterate on, or repeat again in a different way, is that sheer level of data infrastructure that has now taken over everyday life. Yeah, we came from that analog generation where I would agree in the sense that it's also removed a lot of general common sense, because now people have been entrained into externalizing any decision making to the system in one form or another. So if you don't know the answer to a question, you just Google it. Yeah. I say just Google it because that's the phrase that they put into people's heads. I made the point years ago that you shouldn't really say Google it. You should say do an internet search, because otherwise you're just reinforcing people's psychological expectation that Google as a company is the place you go to for answers, which is a really bad idea to have in people's thinking. But it has become dominant in the same way as people say Hoover when they're referring to doing the vacuuming.
Yeah.
Hoover is a product, but everyone calls it hoovering.
Yeah.
That's
clever. That's very clever. That's very clever.
It worked in a kind of unoffensive manner, just simply in a consumer cycle way. In that it got the product name into people's vernacular. But when it comes to something like knowing the truth about factual information, or the way the world works, or physics or history, or whatever your question is, it shouldn't be all resolved down to one single company, third party, privately owned corporate company, to give you all those answers. In other words, Google. But Google have, one way or another, turned their name into an adjective in the vernacular of everyday conversation.
Well,
so
they
now people say,
surreptitiously,
just Google it, just Google it.
They surreptitiously got under our skin. So people, we accept the word Hoover rather than vacuuming, because we're of a certain age and we realise vacuum is the correct age. Hoover is an extremely clever marketing campaign that we had it stuck in our head. But as for using Google as an outsourcing of information, it's very, very restricted. And if people only use that as a source of information, you're becoming more and more kettled, or more and more concentrated, as that is the only. So I say you've got A as an answer, B as an answer, and there is no C, because it's lost in the majority of most people's cerebral context. So you get like you talk about the Wayback Machine, because I was trying to find something the other day and I couldn't find it, and I know I've seen it, but I obviously haven't found the right URL or the direct thing to be able to say it. I just know it's in my head. But if you don't have our brains of being, what you say, pre-analog, then that's why I said I think about the last 15 years, it's gone so quick that if you had a problem like I had last week, so you can't get through all the tills are closed and there's only like a few staff on. If you cannot serve that customer, then somebody needs to step outside their box. I think they called it what do they call it, blue sky thinking. Do you remember back in the so you've got to step outside your comfort zone and deal with a problem. You deal with that problem. But I genuinely believe a lot of people are afraid to step out of that glass ceiling in case there isn't a safety net under them, so there isn't somebody that can be passed on that accountability. You and I knew what it was like to take accountability when you've done something right or when you fucked up. So you have, oh yeah, that's great, or oh, you fucking really fucked up. Yeah, I fucked up. Now there's always, go on, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, this is why the corporatism loves having these kind of setups where when they start a new major business setup, they get the public to do all the content for free. So just the way YouTube started up, it was a service we could use for free, and we could post whatever videos we wanted about whatever subject we wanted. Obviously not breaking the laws of the time, you know, so obviously there's some subject matter you couldn't post. But that was deliberate because they knew that we would take risks. We would do things that were beyond the thinking of a corporate body that was trying to create a new product that had to tick every demographic box required, you know, that had to account for all the jargon requirements, People in the general public, especially when you have a situation where people are doing things for free, people will take more risks. They will push the boundaries. They will try doing stuff that's completely unpopular just because the opportunity is there and they've got an interest in trying that out for whatever their reason, So the system basically gives us these kind of like paddocks, these playpens, like a sand pit.
A safe place.
Good analogy. A sand pit for us to play in, and whatever comes to the top, they'll go then, right, okay, that kind of format sells. The public like that. They keep coming back, corporatize it. So then we end up with the corporate slop regurgitation version of what was originally made popular by independent creators who were just trying something new and happened to, come up with something that the public appreciated, and they came back for more.
Yeah.
The corporate system we live under loves that principle. They rely on it.
Look what they did. Look what they did to Glastonbury. Look at Glastonbury. They harnessed all that fucking energy and corporatized it, and people can't see when they go. They're just
their own structure means they have to guarantee a return to the investors. So to survive, and I get the point in a business sense of this is why this happens in this very kind of mechanistic fashion, which is why for years I've made the point that the system is mechanistic, therefore expecting it to have any compassion for human existence. You're making yourself insane for no reason, because you can't expect an engine to have emotion and compassion for you. It won't. It's an engine. It's just a thing that creates its own product again and again and again. The corporate system has to guarantee a return to their investor, so they won't take risks. They won't push break the glass ceiling or push boundaries. That's why they have to use us as a creative energy to fuel what they do, and it's why they always parasite on what we create. Because that's how they profit most for themselves, because they pick something that already works. Sorry, big rant, but I think it is important in helping people comprehend how this entire structure has become what it is. It unfortunately inevitably feeds back in on itself to the point where the worst of the worst end up at the top of the heap, because they're the ones willing to do the worst of the worst to achieve that position. So guaranteed that's where they'll end up. So guaranteed you'll end up being ruled over by the worst people on the fucking planet. That's why we need rid of this system.
We find it difficult as hopefully mentally mature, possibly outsiders from the mainstream, find it very difficult that I don't know the percentage, but the majority of other people don't see the darkness, the evil, the twisted behind it. They see it as an innocent way of getting information. They do not see that their energy that they're giving this machine. Yeah, I know somebody made the comment about raging about the machine, but if you get angry with a bot on the phone because they're not answering your energy, then no, the computer says no. You're just giving it more of your power, and you're feeding it how to trigger you, how to get how to hobble you, and so the hobbled people, the crippled people can't find a way out, because they don't realise, if I'm using this analogy, this ice pick mentality, which you and I both have. You'll claw through and peak the next day your own way. You don't need, you've got to go with some of this oxygen. You've got to survive in this modern world. But you're comfortable enough, and I know you are, Cookie, to step outside. Even if you're really uncomfortable, you're made to be painful or to feel like you're going fucking nuts. You'll stand in your own light, your own power, your own energy, and think, fuck you, excuse the language, because I could use other adjectives. I've got a good vernacular.
This is a low quality production, so we can swear as much as we want. No?
Oh, yeah.
Cunts. Yeah, but the cunts that are taking our energy, we've got to feed it that. So when you stop and you pull back from it, you think, no, it's too much, I can't deal with that. There's enough of us to be able to pull back. So we've got to find another way. But as humans, they're still teaching us how to fight with each other rather than work together against the machine. That's where I'm at this point where I realise, as much as I feed it, I need to step back from it and think, no, you're not getting me on that.
Yeah.
You've already hooked me enough. You got me in. You've got claws in me already. Even though I pull back from it, okay, if I'm uncomfortable, or I'm made to feel a social outcast, or I'm not able to fit in to mainstream media, okay, I accept that, because I don't think I can fully swallow that whole pill. So I'm not absorbed in it. But I do think that younger people, or maybe people that haven't had an epiphany of what this means, they will continue innocently, genuinely innocently. I don't think it's done on purpose, to follow the smoothen path, the path that is less, it's lots of
resistance.
Yeah. That makes sense. What you're trying to, that's what I feel. That's what's happening to us.
It's them exploiting our survival instinct.
Yeah.
Because your survival instinct will always choose the path of least resistance, because that's a higher probability of survival.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. You have to actively, consciously choose the harder path. Yeah, your body's if I can say it without stuttering, your body's natural drive will choose the path of least resistance, because that's the highest likelihood of survival. Yeah. So they lay that kind of shit out in front of us, like the Wicked Witch in
breadcrumbs. Yeah, I knew the breadcrumbs. Yeah, I know what you meant.
That is again, it's a lot of how this system works. It's a lot of how it's predicated onto the mass of the public. Because again, as history has proven multiple times, when the public really break their conditioning and turn against the so-called controllers or rulers, it's a very quick and simple result. There's not many of them, and all of their power rests on influence over others. So once their influence fails, they don't last very long at all. They get put up against the wall and machine gunned to death, or they get hung from lampposts or whatever else, and that's one of the biggest tricks the system has learned, is being able to exploit our natural instincts and drives so that they can steer our energy. I mean, what you were mentioning earlier about the system sort of getting you all angry and agitated because of it, just the computer says no, that kind of brick wall effect. That again is, it drains your energy, which means you no longer have that energy to put into other things. So
well, there is not much resistance if you do the eat, sleep, work, repeat kind of a life
with a little bit of pleasure slotted in between.
Some bread and circuses, right? So,
watch a movie, go to the pub once a week.
That's the least resistance. It's so easy to do that, right? Yeah.
Don't you think
as soon as you want to go independent, oh my god.
Don't you think they already laid that out for us with it's a while since I watched television, but I remember what was it called, Little Britain, where they showed the absolute best and worst, and also the computer says no, and they made a joke of it, and we were all laughing at it. Not realizing that in another 10 or 15 years we would be at that precipice. We would be at that, like, ooh, you got that retard that only can press. Oh no, not let us say that. I'll probably get retard to press a button and go, no, sorry, I can't sort it out, because they can't think out. Sorry.
I was going to say it could be argued. I could make an argument that that was done deliberately
I think it was.
to inoculate the public's expectation when they started literally doing it.
I think it
Because
was.
this is another tactic that they've used for many decades now, where they will put ideas into the public a few years ahead of when they actually implement the effect. But the ideas are made public so that it's a little bit like having a vaccine. Your psychological shock or resistance to the introduction of this new thing will be lessened because you've already been inoculated to it.
Yep.
You know, you've had it introduced to your thinking, so that when they actually start doing it, so like you say, in the comedy skit, it was a bit funny.
Yeah.
But if you've ever encountered that situation where you're headbutting up against a brick wall of bureaucracy and there is literally some arrogant person, woman or male, sat behind a desk saying, no, sorry, the computer says you're not allowed to do that, or you can't have that, or you're not going to get it. You understand how that is an actual reality. So they sort of preceded the idea that you should just laugh it off as being ironic and a bit silly. It's not. It's literally fucking up your society.
Yeah, including like the only game of the village, which was meant to be shocking. And then when we go back to Cupid's Jump with yeah, but you had Kenny Everett that brought it in with the over excerptly stuff. Then you had the Little Britain. Then you had the weird shit that was going on with accepting AI with all the films and
there was
possibly
a lot in the noughties.
Yeah. So this microdosing of our cerebral intelligence, the right left thinking brain. We're getting like the majority of people that watch this stuff on the telly don't realise that they're being pre-programmed. I didn't. I had no idea until I sort of thought, "Fucking hell, Paula, you're laughing at it." That's funny.
You're in Plato's cave.
Yeah.
When you're in Plato's cave, you think the shadows on the wall are totally real. You think that's the entirety of reality.
Yeah. Bit like, is it Dune? Is it Dune?
The wall is now a screen.
I think it was Dune where they realised that they could go outside, but everyone was believed. The film, I think it was Dune or the series Dune, where
they had Logan's Run, where they go outside the dome and realise that it's not all wasteland and they can actually survive outside the dome.
Yeah, that's what we're in now.
It's more crossing the desert kind of stuff. They knew they could do it. It's not that they didn't think they couldn't. But...
I've just watched so much fucking sci-fi shit.
Yeah, there's been again.
I'm overloaded.
Good.
Yeah, it's that methodology of introducing ideas to you.
Yeah.
It's why as well I encourage people to read a wide variety of stuff, subject matter, not just factual stuff. Read fiction as well, because you get a lot of good ideas from fiction. But the more you read, the more new ideas you'll be introduced to. So you expand your own thinking capabilities. Whereas if you just rely on what the system presents to you, you'll have a very narrow perception, a very framed perception of what reality is. Because they deliberately only present certain subjects to you.
Yeah, but if you go back to Marcus Aurelius, right, where he wrote everything he wrote, nothing's changed, nothing's different under the sun. It was exactly the same. Obviously, they didn't have AI, but they still had like twittering birds in the background, like listen to this, listen to that, listen to this, listen to that. So it was a political or religious leaning. So people were they didn't stay outside the box. They stayed in a comfortable mainstream, and that was what I'm trying to think now. How long ago was that written? I can't remember. Thousands of years ago, wasn't it? Marcus Aurelius.
2,000 years ago, maybe
2000,
a bit less.
Yeah.
1800s.
If we keep looking back at the intelligent minds that try to tell us that we're being directed, our energies are being directed, we're being swayed, we need to go back to our own original beliefs as being a decent human being. What makes us, which is what I genuinely believe makes us human to humanity. We've all got fuck ups, we've all got flaws, none of us know everything, we're constantly learning, and we need to keep growing. We need to keep looking inwardly to realize that we've got light and dark. But if we just go with the flow Always go with the flow. Like water, it's okay being like water, but sometimes that water meets a dry path or resilience. So you have to find your own way. So when you do connect back with your humanity or humanness, you realize you've always been there. As I try to explain about the people that just connect with the internet. They don't have or the Wi-Fi, whatever you want to call it. They don't have genuine conversations. They are unable to. They're socially awkward, so they just like they type away. They get answers, but they don't explore their own humanity. They don't push the boundaries to say, this is where I'm comfortable. This is where I'm very uncomfortable. If I'm uncomfortable,
very, very, very few people actually do that kind of introspection.
was it just me then?
Well, not necessarily just you, but it is a
No,
small
I meant
percentage.
few. Okay.
Zuckerberg did.
The majority of people don't think about stuff like that. If anything, certainly a large percentage of the population are distinctly uncomfortable to do that kind of thinking. They want to be distracted from themselves all the time. That's, again, part of what this system is predicated on, constant distraction.
But if you don't realise your own weaknesses, you don't realise your own powers.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And that's something Marcus Aurelius is good for. You really it will help you have that kind of self-realization of your real inner power kind of thing. Yeah. But the majority of the population doesn't do that. Because our education system encourages you to not do that. Yeah, our education system encourages you to defer to outside experts who tell you how to live, who tell you what to feel, and tell you what your feelings mean. They don't want you to think about it for yourself. No.
Maybe I'm just a nasty bitch.
No, it's true.
Maybe life's taught me to be harder. Maybe life's taught me to look inwardly. You know, I don't know.
It goes along with the same traits as why you're able to stand your ground and ask questions and not just accept what you're told. To me, it all comes like the awakening kind of principle. Yeah, it doesn't work in the same way for everyone, but there's also, I think, a truth to the reality that there's only a certain percentage of your population that will naturally go through that process. The rest of the population has to be pushed into it, like boot camp. Yeah, they have to experience something that unfortunately usually requires something somewhat traumatic to kickstart their thinking. But if you leave them to their own devices, again, the programming of the system is go back to sleep. The matrix is as warm as the womb. That's a phrase I used years ago.
The fetal position of just comforting yourself, sticking your thumb in your mouth.
Stop thinking. Let us do the thinking for you. Here's some flashy stuff to keep you entertained and occupied. Don't think about anything. Just.
But the thing is, Cookie, it is quite a scary, frightening place out there because we are adults. We've experienced that the world is uncertain. It's unreliable. The only thing you can truly rely on is upon yourself. And if you offset or externalize that, then you're going to have your thoughts controlled, a bit like religion or politics or other things. So knowing yourself, knowing yourself, what works for you, stick to it. Don't be pushed off that ledge. Hold your precipice, even if there's a massive fucking tsunami of stress behind you. Hold it, because if you don't hold that line, there's no one else that can hold it for you. And then when you've got somebody that's holding the line, like putting your finger in the dike, somebody else that can, excuse that analogy, hang on, you fucking weird fucker. But if you put the finger in the dike and it overflows, there's somebody else, I know men are very willing, to put the finger in the dike. So you can have a lot of fingers in the dike so it doesn't overflow. So there's not just one person that's holding that precipice of bullshit behind you, because you draw that line.
I was thinking of a different association when you mentioned holding the line, because actually, I want to play a tune just to give us a little break because we've gone past the hour.
Yeah.
But I know this might seem, I know regular listeners are used to me doing this kind of shit anyway. This might seem somewhat disjointed compared to the current subjects of the day, because I was going to mention Andy Burnham and his latest little speech that he gave about immigration. And our conversation may seem distant from that, but it's not really, because it's about the core of how this system operates. And one of the things this system is currently reliant on is increasing the number of tax cattle on this particular bit of the farm, which is called Great Britain or the UK. You know, so as the massive theft that occurred in recent years, the biggest theft ever in recorded history, moving money up the pyramid from the lowest part of the pyramid, that has also meant that the tax system has become more overburdened, so they need more tax cattle. So part of the reason for immigration is not just because these immigrants will do the jobs that British people don't want to do, which is a lie in the first place on its face anyway, but it's not just that. It's the fact that to service the debt at the moment, they need more tax-paying cattle to generate energy into the economy. Because that's what you do, yeah? You're a little unit, you're a little generator of energy, like the pods in the Matrix. You generate energy that is then converted into units within the economic cycle. So if they bring more people in, that's more energy being added into the economic cycle, yeah? So they have to bring more people in. So this idea, Andy Burnham stood on the White Cliffs of Dover talking about having a relentless campaign of stopping the boats, which is why I subtitled this today as Relentless Propaganda. You know, because he stood on the White Cliffs of Dover talking like he's talking about repelling invaders without actually calling them invaders, which in and of itself is a slick bit of spin doctrine propaganda. But then the reality of him talking about stopping the boats, which is a very small percentage of the total numbers of immigration coming into the country. Stopping the boats is not going to stop the demographic change that people are seeing in their cities around them, towns and cities, in our society around us. Yeah.
Don't forget the cookie.
Yeah, remind me later.
Yeah.
So stopping the boats is not going to change this rapid acceleration of the HMOs and other situations where they're dumping these young men primarily into unsuspecting little country shires, like Piddington and places like that. So him giving his little speech like that was just outright fucking propaganda. So I thought that was an appropriate way to title it. And it is predicated on that idea of the corporatist system needs to keep growing, so it needs more fuel to put in the engine. A lot of these people they're bringing in, they are literally economic migrants. That's why they're bringing them here, because they want to boost the economy or pay the economy. It's not so much boost it, it's just service it at the moment. Yeah. So anyway, that's one aspect of it. But other things in the news at the moment, which are linked into the biggest theft ever in recorded history. You might have seen some of the circus show of this recently, and it is a bit sad, but it's also indicative of where we are. So I thought it would be appropriate to dig this song out and play it again. Hello, Boomer, in the chat, and hello to anyone else that's joined the chat if I've missed you. I think I said hello to Sue earlier. Yeah, hello. Anyway, I'll shut up. It's only a short song, so you'll have to be quick if you're going to get yourself a drink or whatever. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm sure you'll all remember this sad little man.
Sad little man sitting deep in a lie. He's dead in his soul, but he'll keep you alive. Do what he says, not what he do, 'cause the truth is for him and the lie is for you. Sad little man, but he's treated like a god, as the faithless prey to a fake and a fraud. Worship the man, pledge to his word. One shot, two shot, now you get a third. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. Sad little man, gonna wanna trap you like a dog, put your head in a net while they eat you raw. Don't ask why, just comply, 'cause fear is the drug that the doc prescribe. Sad little man, you can watch him on the news, preaching to his choir while they learn the rules. Some feel safe and some feel healed, but they'll all hold his hand as he makes the kill. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. Sad little man, and he wants your kids. Some might live while the rest get sick, so put them to the test and listen for the yell. When the truth comes out, he's gonna burn in hell. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. You can't fool me, you sad little man.
Yeah.
If you didn't guess, that was 5 times August. That's why I let it play to the end, because he's got his little card at the end. I can put a link in the chat as well if you want.
Yep. Well, he's been doing the rounds again, so, you know, because of Fauci and all that shit. Right?
Yeah.
And again, all the people that were right. Right? Yeah.
And even in that respect, it's still taken a little bit of time for the layers of lies to be pulled apart.
Yeah, but Fauci pleading the fifth is the nail in the coffin, because how can you argue with that? There's no right. So
if you weren't guilty, if you were innocent, you'd be able to answer all these questions.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the fact that you keep,
like he said, he said it himself in that video clip I had, right, in the news. They asked him, like, would you yeah, no, I have the science behind me and all the efficacy and blah blah, and everybody's backing me, blah blah blah. No problem. Yeah, no.
I am the science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until his fucking diary got leaked, because that's you know, that's fucking damning. All that shit that's in there. It's like the Epstein files, but
it is potentially interlinked, actually, as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know some people would claim that's a bit of a tenuous sort of conspiracy theory connection, but it's not really a conspiracy theory when there's direct communications between Epstein and people Fauci was working with.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And when in the exchanges between Epstein and Bill Gates, they were actually broaching, or Epstein was certainly bringing up the idea of dangerous viral infections and you know, mass infections and stuff like that. So I don't think it's it might not be included in that release of all the various files, but I'm sure somewhere in his documentation would be more detail in the sense of what kind of projects they were actually discussing or suggesting. I know there's some detail in some of them, but
it's now an open fact that he knew that COVID wasn't more dangerous than the flu, like a 0.2 efficacy.
Which I still think is the main reason they shut me down, because I kept repeating it. It's just a strong flu.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an illness. Yeah, people are getting ill. But it's
normal
just
flu is like 1.6, and this was a 2.0.
Yeah.
0.2.
So
yeah, look, it's I don't believe the Wuhan bullshit that they're trying to spin.
No, right? That I think is a further cover story, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think the real
responsible for the amount of bio development that they've been doing. They don't want the public becoming aware of just how many other projects of a similar kind that they've been running for many years now.
Well, if it was actually out of a lab, it would be 20% or more, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's a shitty job. If the best you can do is 0.2,
Yeah.
0.2, so no, I don't think that either. That's just to put shit on the Chinese. No, they hoodwinked us with fucking flu.
There's also the potential, or certainly the questions around the possibility that the illness part of the situation was never meant to be really highly dangerous, as in they didn't intend it to kill loads and loads of people. They wanted to kill a few to get the pandemic illusion, but all they were really after was an excuse to introduce the injections. So the illness wasn't so much meant to be the main part of the event. The illness was just the justification to roll out the injection.
That's where the testing came in, right? Where they over flooded the system with positive people, and the hospitals are full.
You had the chemical experimentation that was basically done surreptitiously. It wasn't exactly surreptitious to most of us who could see it for what it was. Blatantly the largest experiment ever carried out. Because even though there's no sort of double blind setup, they were still deliberately pumping this shit out so that they could take data from the results of what happened to the public it was farmed out to. So that's an experiment. They even admitted that these things were experimental. So their application was part of an experiment. That's just the way the academia works. So you had that element of the what they wanted to learn about the use of the new mRNA technology and what its potential applications could become. But also there was the research in the social aspects, the psychological control, the application or the activation of strict controls within society to authoritarian, totalitarian kind of controls, like the restrictions on movements and stuff like that. So they were making use of that for testing the public to certain limitations. Also, it enabled the largest theft ever in recorded history.
Yep.
So they all
largest
got
shift
paid
in
very,
wealth.
very well. And they got a fuckload of data, which is now filling up all those data centers for them to do research on us.
Apple got a fucking 200 billion payout now because of the COVID. Oh no, because of some restrictions they had during something. I don't know if it was tariffs. I don't know, but maybe tariffs. But yeah, but all that shit is also being reversed now. Like a lot of companies got payouts and were encouraged to keep the people at home and do all kinds of things, right, with incentives. And they're trying to do a roll back on that shit too. So yeah, don't think you got lucky when you got money or anything else out of it, right? No, they don't forget.
I'd like to say I'd like to recognise that within a 24-hour period when they switched us off, ping, COVID. Sorry, I accidentally muted myself. Everything was shut down, and within a 24-hour, fuck off, Cookie. Because they don't want us to hear this. That they had everything implemented so it just fitted like a shoe, Cinderella's shoe. There was nothing pre-planned. Paula, don't get that thought in your head. Don't even think that, because you're getting a little bit like weird. But when it all just fitted like a comfortable shoe, and all the printed signs and all the, I don't know, I can't even remember because it pisses me off, but everything was there. Done. It was clicked in. So it was preset and organized, which we all know. And then when they implemented it, it was very frustrating for people such as myself and probably yourself, that so many people followed that path of least resistance. So when they implemented getting vaccinated or wear your mask or whatever, we were deeply frustrated that it was implemented, but there was so much against us. We tried to fight back. We did fight back. You went into hospital. I went into hospital. We said, no, we're not doing that. We're not wearing the mask. We're not going to be vaccinated. But there were people that lost, and I know, I'm very aware of it. I know it's, how can I put it? It triggers you that people were separated from their loved ones. They weren't allowed to do whatever. But you had that power within yourself to decide, which I did with my mother. No, we're not going to be told what we can and can't do, because life is too precious to be directed. But we are all directed in one way or another. So when I hear what you're saying about the bizarre, the weird shit that's been going on, it just gets worse. So
yeah.
Have you
Oh,
muted
you
yourself?
muted yourself again.
Oh, I've done it again. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry. I don't mean
That's
to
all right.
mute myself. I'm not even. What did you say? I'm not self-centering myself. It's probably just me.
It's probably a subliminal hypnotic instruction from the cabal. The Illuminati.
But not to say it. Don't say it. Don't say it out loud, Paula. Don't say it. No.
The Illuminati have taken control of your clicking finger, and they're making you click the button at just the wrong time.
I'm not clicking it, but maybe it's fucking the internet. Fucking hell. I'm in the grey areas. I'm in the grey areas here. The shallows. Shallows.
It's one thing that, well, to mention some of the other stuff that we had in the notes, and we did sort of touch on it a little bit earlier. You know, we get into that stage where you cannot necessarily be absolutely sure in that respect, because now the police are rolling out requests to go on correct thinking courses, or how to think correctly on the internet. How did they word it? It's a thinking skills course, wasn't it? An online thinking skills course. Yeah. So your desire to say certain words could be re-educated out of you. So, you know, you might in effect lose voluntary control of your finger when you're trying to say certain words. You know, you'll try to explain something and your finger will just automatically press the mute button. You know, this is a recent incident which you might have seen. Pete included it in Daily, where a woman who runs a what would you call it, a charity to support animals and to campaign against experimentation on animals. She posted some information about a company on one of her social media. I think it was Instagram, I think she said, but one of the social media platforms that she posts stuff on. And she said it was just factual information about this company, and this company is doing experimentations on animals. So she wasn't making stuff up. She wasn't being hyperbolic. She wasn't being like overly emotional. She was just posting information about what this company does. The company reported her to the police, and she then had two police officers, a male and a female, turn up at her door to tell her that if she wanted to, she could choose to sign a bit of paper saying that she would agree to go on this online thinking skills course, where basically they would re-educate her to not say bad things about companies online.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to, and that is literally fucking Orwellian. So now we've got to that kind of stage in this country. That's why I said it is sort of getting to the point where we might be joking about it now, like in the Little Britain sketches, joking about the computer says no. We might be joking about it now, as in we literally can't say certain words, because if we do, the internet will shut us down.
It's going to happen to one of us one of these days, for sure.
It is getting to that. I still think, right, that they allow, well, from my own point of view, I think they allow me to do this because they're listening to what I talk about. And they're using me for sentiment analysis, the usual kind of monitoring of, well, what are the public saying and thinking about these subjects, Because otherwise, why the fuck have I not had a knock on my door? All the years I've been talking about these subjects, and especially when I was covering the COVID.
Yeah, it's like the YouTube. It's very similar to the YouTube ban, what they're now doing, right? To the social media. Now you're getting a ban in reality, or you have to do this little course, right? And Like in YouTube, you have to do a little training if you do a bad thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? You
have
get
to
taught
go
about
through a
copyright, or you
copyright
get taught
school,
about
yeah.
COVID, or you get taught about whatever. So
Yeah. Where
it's
they basically make
like
you
that.
repeat the same lies.
Yeah, but it's like that. It's like the
Hello in the
YouTube
chat,
police.
But you still have to.
Siberia, hello.
Or in this case, Instagram police. Because what the fuck are they doing, the police? Aren't they supposed to solve crimes? Has a crime been committed? I don't think so.
I don't think they really actively do the job that they're supposed to be doing anymore. I think they've been
Obviously.
gifted.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're more political police than they are actual police.
Yeah.
Because they seem more concerned with policing political opinion rather than actually dealing with crime and criminals. So if you say something that's considered
or
against
medical
the
crises.
Yeah. Well, that's governed by the current political power, is it? They say what
but they were the ones that were enforcing the masks and the distances and all that shit, right? And they were very heavy-handed on that.
Yeah.
Like, very.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Physically.
You might get a virus. Here, I'll break your face in.
Yeah. Well, make sure we open up a wound to let the virus in.
Was it Billy Bragg that was a political guitarist commentator? Was it him?
Yeah.
Is that the name? Right. So they didn't, regardless of, I don't have any leanings left or right, but if you try to shut a voice down, for having, I suppose, I'm sure there's religious people the same as political people, but the fact that we have to be squeezed into a sausage machine, so we all come out the same size. What's it called? Little boxes on the hillside. You know the song Little Boxes, but that's what I think we become. We become little boxes that we have to be, not all of us, but you have that mainstream sausage squeeze. And if you have a thought, or as I said, I'm surprised I'm still able to speak on YouTube because I'm unable to filter my thoughts enough to be accepted on mainstream media. I'm surprised I haven't had a knock on the door, or I haven't been banned from the internet. And I am mindful, this is what I say, I am mindful, not for, because I don't post it, I'm not a social media person, but I am mindful when I send, say, a WhatsApp message. I genuinely am. That I think, no, be careful what you say there, because I'm aware that everything I say, whether it's family or friends, is monitored. And I'm not being extremist. I am not.
No, that's a fact. It's proven fact now.
Yeah, but I'm a bit wacky, as you know, Cookie, with my thoughts. I'm not necessarily a mainstream person. So when I could be talking to my daughter or my mother, I could be talking to you. So I send a message out. I'm aware now, which I wasn't 10 years ago, that it's possibly monitored and I could be seen as batshit crazy, certifiable, or what's the word, an enemy of the state, because I'm able to speak out about royalty, politics, religion, whatever I feel free to do so. I don't feel impinged or fenced in, but I am aware. I'm aware of I don't give a shit, as in, like, if I lost my internet, but I don't, it's not about offence, but having a voice, you will be shut down. I think, you're not trying to trigger people, you're not trying to upset people, it's your opinion. It's an opinion, it's your thoughts. So to have our opinions policed, like that lady, like, you think, fuck off, it's my fucking opinion. It's my opinion. I'm not opposing anyone.
I'm going to be a little bit pedantic, but just
go on.
Just to make the point in an honest, intellectually honest fashion. Sometimes I do say things or word things in a deliberate way to try and prod people's triggers, because I've learned over the years that sometimes you need to basically stick a finger through people's glass barrier in their thinking. Yeah, you can't just guarantee that if you say a certain piece of information to them, factual or not, that it's going to actually kickstart their thinking. Because often they will just be working from a set of values that have been given or indoctrinated into them by the system. I've done, I'm not exempt from that. I went through the same education system, so I had the same shit in my head. But you can't guarantee that it's even going to get through that kind of perception of reality that they've been given. Yeah. So sometimes all it takes is just a little flick, and you can shatter the illusion of that bullshit that they've been indoctrinated into. So sometimes you do have to actually prod somebody's trigger to kickstart their thinking, and you'll see the cogs going in their eyes. You'll see them go,
exactly.
And then you get the does not compute kind of effect, you know?
Cookie, when I put that Hitler Coca-Cola ad in there,
yeah.
I know, 90% is gonna giggle, 90% is gonna fucking chuckle, right?
Yeah.
So nobody's gonna really be offended because it's fucking Hitler. You should make
I like juice. I like juice.
It's better than the juice.
Juice. Apple juice. Yum, yum.
But that's it, right? It does trigger your giggle thingy, and that can get your way into more thinking, like opening your mind up to okay, that was funny, but you can laugh about Hitler.
Humor gets you through many doors. It gets you through many doors by making a joke about something that everyone else sees as serious. Because I genuinely live like this daily. I think I make a joke about it. I'm not joking. I really aren't joking, but I laugh at the system, the macabre shit that we all, like I said, you're knee deep, literally knee deep in shit.
Ooh.
So if you rise above that and you've got like an Excalibre sword, if you lead the way, if you're able to speak up and say, look, I'm using these fucking, I know I'm on YouTube at the minute, so I'm censoring my thoughts, but if you go vaccinated, if you're vaccinated against smallpox or malaria or whatever, you are protected. Everyone else don't need to worry because you've got the protection. So when I ask that question out loud, I think, okay, you've been vaccinated. I don't need to be vaccinated. Why are the fuck you worried why I'm vaccinated? Because I'm prepared to have smallpox or leprosy or fucking the clap or syphilis. I'm not vaccinated, but I'll take the risk. You are protected. So I'm very vocal on this because it's kind of like the retard reset button. We have to keep banging it, like Splat the Rat. Do you remember Splat the Rat? You've got to hit the retard over the head.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah, whack-a-mole.
You cannot say the R word anymore.
All right, sorry, I said it on you. Sorry.
That's an important point to reiterate. It's an important point to reiterate, and it connects into that current example. I mean, that woman being subjected to having the police turn up for a non-crime hate incident thing. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
I mean, that now has been somewhat normalised, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it was more the fact that what they were suggesting that she did about the situation. She wasn't being accused of actually committing any offence or crime. She hadn't broken the law in any way whatsoever. She could have just shut the door in their face, as far as I know, legally. She didn't have to interact with them at all. But they were deliberately creating a situation where they are, in effect, subverting the passage of justice to be replaced by a general agreement between victim and perpetrator.
I think that's where the female cop comes in as well, like to play on sentiment and emotion and do the right thing and that shit.
Yeah,
I have the clip lined up if you.
Do you know? I think it's like the Monty Python thing with like the fucking Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Well,
they're your thoughts. It's fucking terrible.
That's it.
No.
Yep.
From public or business, saying that they believe some false allegations have been made online. So they've asked us to just come and have a chat with you today and see whether or not you would accept what we call community resolution.
What is that?
CR. So all it is, it's a piece of paper here, and it's got some conditions on it, essentially. You would sign it, and then it would just go on record to say that you've agreed those conditions and moving forward, basically. For yourself, if you were to say, yes, I posted this, and if the information's correct, then I'm sorry, you know, or incorrect, sorry, then I apologise. I'll accept the community resolution. The agreed remedies would be to complete an online thinking skills course. Second one is to complete an online impact. Completely up to you.
It's your decision.
We're coming to you with this information.
Okay.
The lowest form of which we can deal with any offence that's been alleged and that has obviously been proven with potentially the online evidence.
So in other words,
stating that, you know, they're stating the information is incorrect. Okay, that's what we're going off of at the moment, and they're saying that information passed on your platform could lead to, you know, have a harmful impact on their business. If you so wish not to partake in it, that is up to you.
It's commercial interest.
And then we would hand the investigation back to their team, and they can decide how they wish to proceed with it, which might be nothing or it might be something else, but I couldn't tell you because I'm not the lead investigator on.
That is what hit Annika Svenska and...
Yeah.
That was the name. If people
An animal rights for activists, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right. So my neighbour could take offence to the fact that I...
Yeah.
Hang on. So I'm out having a bonfire, I'm standing out in the garden going...
She will now.
Yeah, right. Or I'm having my strange moments, whatever you accept me for my outside the box, right? So if my neighbours took offence to what I was doing, they would ring the police would knock on my door, and they go, and if I put it online, particularly if I put it online, like I'm celebrating midwinter, midsummer, they could take offence for political or religious reasons, and I need to take an online course to correct my thinking so my neighbours are happy with my thoughts. Fuck them! Sorry, fuck them. That's how I feel.
Nah, it's not like that. It's not exactly like that. It's like if your neighbors were strongly against all that stuff you're doing, right?
Yeah.
and they do something Christian or whatever, and then you write a bad review on their fucking site about how bad it is to be Christian, so you should be doing midsummer stuff.
Okay.
Right?
You potentially
and they took offense of that. They took offense of that.
That's the same thing, Pete. Yeah. That I'm not allowed to do what I want in my garden.
You're not supposed to do that outwardly. Like, you don't project that outwards and tell other people, right? Fui. Don't do that.
There's a few things about this. But one, I would mention, if you watch the whole clip with the interviewer, it was on GB News, which is one thing, but she makes a very good point that you should keep in mind when you're seeing shit like this. If they turn up at your door, do not sign anything.
No,
don't agree to anything on the doorstep like that. No. As I said, she had every right to just shut the door in their face and walk away. Yeah. But she does herself make the point of, like, don't just sign anything because a copper's there waving a bit of paper at you.
But it's not even an offense. It's a commercial interest here, right?
There is no offense proven.
Fucking hell.
She, even in her own, the way she was talking, I was going to say statement, which is not exactly a statement per se, but the way she words it, she says, if there's a case brought further down the line and evidence is presented to prove that there's some kind of offence taken place. In other words, they know full well.
They accuse you.
Yeah. They got to prove it.
Made an accusation.
Yeah, and the police has to react to that.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
corporatism. That's because she's potentially affecting the income of that company. So they've sent corporate enforcers to verbally threaten her and intimidate her.
Where is that in the police sign up for the police thingy?
But this is the other thing that I wanted to mention about this situation. That community policy thing that they mentioned and what they tried to get her to sign. In a similar situation recently, that channel that I've been following for a while, Edge of the Matrix, who does the transgender agenda information stuff. A while ago, he got attacked by some crazy tranny who tried to slap him about and whatever. Basically, common assault, And he took that to the police, and he was trying to pursue it as a case to get this guy prosecuted because he did assault him, he slapped him and whatever. The police instead changed it to one of these community policy agreements, and they got back in touch with him, the guy who runs the channel, Steve, and told him, like, well, you know, if you want to pursue this, we can, but the perpetrators agreed to apologize. So can we leave it there? And basically, you know, that's just the end of it. That to me is important because what they're demonstrating there, this is not just about possible hurty feelings about comments online, somebody being offensive. It's not even just potential loss of earnings. This is an actual crime. A physical assault took place on camera, witnessed by multiple people. The crime was obvious and clearly provable. But the police decided that instead of prosecuting the crime, they wanted to just turn it into, oh, sorry, mate. So in other words, if somebody attacks you, physically attacks you, breaks your nose, punches you in the face, they can just say sorry and the police will forget about it.
If you're a migrant, for sure.
This community resolution, I think, has been introduced 15, 20 years ago. So I go back to a kid. Yeah. If somebody pissed you off as a neighbour, your parents or your grandparents would deal with it and go and talk to them. You deal with it, you sort it out. This online stuff, anybody can say you said this or you offended them, and you have to defend your very existence. Like in your own corner of your own house, you've got to defend what you think, whether it's religion, politics, or whatever. And it's become a point, as I said, online. This has become online.
Hello, Rob. Sorry.
Hey, Rob.
Hiya, gay man. Nice to see you.
He made a dramatic. He made a dramatic.
The AA course over. Finally.
You've been and done your online thinking course.
But if we just ourselves, and if we're not accepted in our own community, our own neighborhood, our own where we live, we do not need an outside influence if we're not able to resolve our issues in our own community, like tribal issues, you know. So if you offset that to, I don't know, a lawmaker or an outside influence come in, you have to accept their decisions. You've got to accept it. If you offset it, you accept what their ruling is rather than deal with it yourselves. I'm not talking about vigilanting. I'm finding peace, like finding resolution. So if you did genuinely fuck somebody off, or your kids were a pain in the ass, you got to go and say, look, I'm really sorry my children posted beanstalk through your letterbox and pressed your doorbell like at 10 o'clock at night. I'm sorry, they were assholes. Yeah.
So retribution and rebalancing. That's what justice means.
Yeah. So you take responsibility, you accept the actions of people that you are responsible for, including yourself. Whereas now I could turn around and say, Cookie, you're a complete cunt, and I'm going to report you to the police. And I could do that in my own right, I suppose. And they will come and knock at your door. That's kind of weird. That's like offsetting my own thoughts to somebody else to police them. No matter which way we look at it, it's the same. It's the same way we look at it.
That's all right if I'm 5 years old, but I'm a 50-year-old adult. So fuck that.
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck off.
I mentioned a while ago, maybe not last week, maybe the week before, and I know this is a subject we've covered before. Many other people have covered this aspect, but a lot of it comes back to kind of psychological control, where they're trying to persuade an entire generation. I think they have pretty much succeeded with a lot of the Gen Z. I don't know about so much the Gen Alpha, because they seem to be pushing back, swinging back a lot more now. The pendulum is swinging back.
Hope so.
Gen Alpha are very interested, and we experienced this recently on our trip away. They are very interested in that kind of aspect of social presentation, such that if you do something that is considered offensive, according to the urban dictionary accepted politically correct version of a word or a phrase, then that is the equivalent of you physically striking them. And if anything, like the example I just gave about that guy who does the protest stuff against, well, the explanation stuff against the transgender agenda. You know, this is not really so much about physical assaults It's more about the transition of them persuading people to accept the idea that words alone are the equivalent of being physically attacked. And if anything, they're worse. Because that example I gave of Steve, with his case basically being thrown out or just misdirected deliberately, they're saying that him being literally physically assaulted is not as bad as him waving a sign around that some people think is offensive. So offensive words are worse than being hit in the face. That is the perception they're trying to push into the public's mind. You know, and like I said, I think they've succeeded with a lot of the younger generation because now people have been persuaded that kind of safe space mentality of you're meant to be happy 24/7. And if you hear anything that makes you feel upset or distressed or destabilized, that means somebody is physically, literally attacking you so you can have them prosecuted and potentially put in prison. That's a version of insanity that, you know, is usually only restricted to extreme megalomaniacs who don't like the misanthropic, they hate all people being around them and whatever, yeah? But that idea that you can go through life never being offended and that for some reason being offended is something that will actually cause you some kind of physical harm. It's fucking mental case shit, yeah? That is a deep core principle part of how they are infantilizing an entire generation or more. They're hoping to do this to the rest of the generations coming up, yeah? They're infantilizing them to such a degree where, again, the state, just like in Orwell's description, becomes the ultimate pseudo-parent.
They're fucking broadcasting news in simple words over here.
And we have to explain it like you're all thick bastards. Yeah, like you're twats.
There's special fucking news broadcast for fucking retards.
Yeah.
Do you remember Jason with the Raconteurs News used to do the Pigeon English news, so you were really fucking thick. That's what we've become. And that was like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. So we're going to pigeon feed you some seeds.
It's idiocracy.
Because you can't say, yeah, I know. And I've been subjected to that. We all have. And you think, hang on a minute, I have some intellect. I can work this out for myself. But if you even look at it or think of it from an opposing point of view, you're seen as like an extremist, which is fucking bizarre in my opinion. Really bizarre. Just to think, like, oh, hang on a minute, I don't agree with that. Well, I'm not an extremist. I just might not agree with what you're saying. It's your opinion. I don't have to fall out. I don't have to argue. I don't want to kill you or maim you, but I don't agree with you. So I can speak my opinion and then step back. It's not like I've got to win a war. I haven't got to win that battle. It's just where I feel most strong and secure. It's kind of weird that we're not able to even speak our minds. I know I'm speaking my mind at the minute, but the fact that we could say something that we would trigger an algorithm. It's like crazy, fucking batshit crazy. It's not that long ago we were able to speak without it being shut. I mean, I'm not afraid to speak. I'm speaking, but you know, like you get your channeled. I don't know. You know, you've got an 18 or a 15 certificate, or you can or can't say that. It's literally real life as we speak at this minute. It's like active as we're talking. It's not like 12 hours or 24 hours. It's got legs. It's got real potential, hasn't it?
Electrolytes.
That's true.
It's what the plants need.
Yeah.
I was also thinking in a way it also demonstrates how they're trying to gradually, and this adds into the kind of Fabian principle and whatever, but they're gradually trying to reduce all potential risk to themselves, obviously, by claiming they're preventing risk to you, the individual. But they can physically limit us, even to the point of putting us in a prison cell and stuff like that. But before it even gets to that stage, they can physically control us by control of the economy and the availability of resources, those kind of requirements. They can affect your access to food and water, so they can physically control you quite easily.
Yeah.
But what they can't control is your thinking yet. Obviously have a lot of influence, and there's various other things we can talk about, like MK Ultra. But as a general rule and basis of reality, they can't directly control your thinking, and as part of that, they can't control the stuff that comes out your mouth. So you thinking about it from their point of view, if they want a system that they can have confidence, they have control over all aspects of the system, which means there aren't any little weird variables like that might cause a spanner in the works effect. So they can account for all your physical requirements and they can control them. So they have confidence that they can physically control us, no problem. That, I think, was part of the test of COVID,
Yeah.
But when it comes to this kind of situation and those coppers turning up with that stupid order and whatever, they cannot control what goes on in your mind, and they can't control whether you choose to speak it or not, to verbalize it.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
en masse. No.
That they're trying to bring in all these various legislation. I mentioned the other night, the more anti-Semitism legislation has been introduced pretty much worldwide as well. So in a similar fashion, this is the tyranny demonstrating what it is afraid of, because it's bringing in legislation to try and control these things. So the very fact that you have the opportunity, you've got a mind, you've got vocal cords at work, speak. That's the main thing. Is if you're not verbalizing it, you're not putting it out into the shared environment. It's in your head, but maybe other people will benefit from knowing what you're thinking.
If they control your housing and your politics and your money and your healthcare, unless you're really fucking strong and you've been through the shredder, let's say a shredder a few times, then you think, oh fuck it, I've already been through that a loads of times, like political, monetary, religion, healthcare, wherever they go. Think, do you know what? I'd sooner be on my own, speaking my own truth, and not being penalised or told what I can and can't think. Then speak your truth loud and proud. And this is how I feel. I've come to the stage where I do care about humanity and my fellow human being, but I'm prepared to speak loud and proud. And if I'm shot down at the last hurdle, I'm prepared to still run at the I don't know, my own boundaries. I think, no, I'm not changing this, because I've already been tweaked over the years. I'm not going to stop now, because I think it's important more now than it's ever been not to be controlled for your thoughts and your thinking. So you don't have to trigger an algorithm. You just need to be able to say, no, I don't agree with, I don't know, whoever, Andy Burnham or bloody queers or whatever it is.
You've got to be able to accept it. You're probably already aware of it in the first place, especially the people that usually listen to us anyway, that you cannot ever expect to not offend somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
That's insanity. If you think you can go through your entire life and everything you ever say or do doesn't affect or offend anyone ever, you're a fool. You're fooling yourself. You're living in a little bubble of denial. Because guaranteed there's someone somewhere out there that feels offended by something you've said or done.
Yeah.
Even just your very existence. There's some crazy people out there who are just offended by the fact that you fucking exist.
Yeah, I know a few.
Again, this idea that they're trying to put into people's heads that the state can protect them from feeling offended, it's insanity, literally insanity. So the state is now peddling insanity on its population that it's supposed to be looking after. They're supposed to be the bureaucrats, the servants that run our country for us. But instead, they're trying to fuck with your head and persuade your mentality like that.
That's all MK Ultra shit. And let's not forget, MK Ultra was in the 70s. We're in 2026 now. So
still going on.
God knows what they can do now. But well, we'll be talking about it in 2030 or 2050, maybe. Right?
Now we've got to the stage where
MQ Ultra.
Mention that, but to mention something we didn't mention earlier on, but should have done, is the potential uniting of the union again, with Rupert Lowe putting out that little message to Farage.
Yeah, unite the right.
Farage made a statement today about his new idea of how to stop the boats and whatever. And while he was giving his statement, I did listen to that when it was live. Afterwards, in the questions, people were asking about whether he's healed the rift between him and Rupert Lowe. Yes, I've already got my book out ready. I just got to put my glasses on and get the bag of runes in a sec. But yeah, they were asking him whether he'd got over the rift between them and all that shit. And he reiterated the same thing about claiming that Rupert Lowe had been really aggressive and shouting at people and screaming and stuff like this. Well, you're dealing with a bunch of crazy people. Yeah, what do you expect? Yeah, some of them are going to start shouting every now and then.
Yeah, but how retarded is Lowe that he can think that he can, with partner up with Tory light fucking Farage? Because it's pretty clear why he got ousted out and all that, right? Because he does like migrants, and Farage did like all the COVID mandates, and he did love Tony Blair and his strong fucking shit. And why the fuck would you want to partner up with that fucking cunt in the first place? Like, are you that desperate? Are you not that secure that you can beat him? Come on. But again, he's old. I think these guys are burning out quick. Right? We need something young. We need something fresh. We need something fucking of the time. And that's
in a way, I think that's what Rupert Lowe is looking at, mate, with this. Is in the sense of, if he waits for the cycle to go through the way it normally does, he's going to have to wait for another election before he can get the chance to get it. As in, there'll be the next election where Farage will get in, and then he'll have to wait till the one after that for his chance to get in. Whereas if he joins up with Farage now, the two of them together, guaranteed they'll get in next election, no question.
Have you ever
heard? I think he's looking at it from that point of view.
Maybe.
Have you ever heard the expression, right is tight and left is deft?
Oh.
No.
Nah, that's a very old expression. A bit like electrics. Right is tight, left is deaf. Whichever way you go, you're going to be screwed. But it's...
Hey.
You're getting it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
No sound effects. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's an old saying, very old saying. Been around for at least 40, 50 years, I'm aware of. And that goes back to, what was it called? Nye Bevan? Going back a long time now. Yeah.
Oh, Kitty's here.
Meow. Hello, Kitty.
Meow. I love you too.
Lynn, fuck off to bed, you old cow. Go bed.
No, she'll join the after chat.
Yeah, she's hoping to join the after chat tonight. Lynn's all
cool.
ready tonight. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Old lady.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
But just to sort of point out that, again, this is the kind of stage we got to. I suppose I'm just banging that drum again in the sense of, I've been talking about this stuff for years, and now a lot of it is actually taking place. And people still seem, a lot of people anyway, I know most of us are somewhat aware of all this stuff, but for a lot of the population, they still seem somewhat confused about why these things are happening. Why did Trump announce an attack on Iran and then announce that he wasn't going to attack them again this week, just like he's done every week for the past however many fucking weeks now? Yeah. But people are still, even the BBC is still going, well, we don't understand why he's decided to do this strategically. We've got no idea. They've been repeating the same fucking news reporting for the past few weeks. Yeah. People still seem confused about that. In the same way as people still seem confused about why somebody who's campaigning, a charitable campaign to protect animals, is getting fucking coppers turning up at her door telling her she has to have her thinking corrected. People are like, why is this happening? So what the fuck do you expect when you're living under a tyranny? This is what tyrannies do. You need to act accordingly. And that means keep one eye on them to make sure they're not coming for you to take you away for something you said. You may have accidentally frightened some crazy woman who's parked her car in a stupid fashion, and because you asked her to move, shout out to Sue for posting this video, because you asked her to move the fucking car, she then starts accusing you of all kinds of fucking shit. Yeah, this is the level of craziness we've got to now. So you have to be a bit more aware of that. Progress of the system is going in a direction that does have no consideration for you or your welfare. You and your family are just economic units within that system, and they'll quite happily consume you. I know I've been saying this point for fucking years now. They will quite happily consume you to continue their progression in the direction they want to go. That doesn't mean everything is shit. Doesn't mean there is no possibility of something better. It doesn't mean that you can't try and present some level of resistance and try and change the direction of where things are going. You can, but you also have to keep in mind that, one, you need to sustain your own sanity, so you should take regular breaks from this shit. Don't get stuck in that polarization of I have to focus totally on all the shit that's going on, or I have to focus totally on just solution. You can't do one or the other. You have to do a combination of balance. And at the same time, you need to just get on with your everyday life. You need to be able to enjoy your life and feel that you're getting the good stuff out of it. It's not all fucking oppression and tyranny. That's a big part of what they want you to feel and think. Fucking correct your thinking with the online thinking course. They'll tell you everything's okay. The government will fix it. Yeah, have no fear. The government's here to save you.
No, kids. That's not okay.
No, it's
Say
not.
no.
I know there's a lot more younger people starting to realise this now, because the shit has become so
I hope so.
cartoony. And I do.
Well,
that's something that I would also stick a flag.
It's backfiring, right, left and right now.
I don't agree that they're so stupid that they're making all these silly mistakes. I think a lot of this is deliberate, because they actually want us to pull the system down.
Look at the lefties. Look at the pro-Palestine protesters right now in America, right? Who are being blacklisted and prosecuted, and fucking all those lefties right now.
Yeah.
All right. So that's serious shit. That's some fucking Stasi level. Oh, you talk shit about the state? Right?
You will go on the dissident list.
Yeah. You'll disappear for 6 lifetimes.
My analogy is, you've got beer, I think they call them beer goggles. So when you've got a few beers in, everyone looks gorgeous and sexy, like, look lovely, right?
I like those.
Then you've got the eclipse goggles, which means you really
you need those. You're going to need those.
We're going to need the eclipse goggles, so we cannot see the ugly fuckers and the ones with, and I'm not talking about the rose-tinted goggles. We're talking about the evil people, the sick, dark.
They live. Yeah,
they live. So that's So we need the proper. I call them rather the rose-tinted ones. So somebody looks a bit. They're okay, and you regret it in the morning, rather than you regret it for the rest of your life, because it's your soul, it's your family, it's your future. So you do need those. What do you call it? What was the film called? Where you need those eclipse goggles. You need those on. They live. You need those. Yeah, you need they live goggles, because it surrounds you every hour of the day. Maybe not in the woods or on the beach, but where humanity and electronics and your connection is with humanity. If it's not like a direct connection, you're gonna have to have this shit around you to protect yourself and defend your thoughts and rights, and stand and say, no, this is where I stand, this is my boundaries. And so if they come closer to you with their non-goggles, I'm not physically saying you've got to shoot them, but you just push them beyond your boundaries, so they can't. Yeah, it sounds bad to say you shoot them, but you know what I mean. Just say fuck off. Don't let them into your...
I largely agree with what you're saying, but I do think that there is a big element of that they want you to believe this shit, that this is real, right? So you are always watched. Everybody's looking at you. Every tweet you say, "Oh, they're gonna come knocking at your door." Ooh, right? All that shit. They want you to they want you to believe that shit. That's why these videos of these arrests are videoed.
Yes.
And then spread all over the media, right? So you can see like, oh, this woman had 2 coppers at the door, right?
Yep.
Like I said, in all the years that we have done with this, we have never had coppers at our doors.
No, we haven't.
Right?
And when we showed the mask wearing,
they called me a Jew one time, Paula. That was outrageous.
I'm not what. Yeah,
no.
yeah. No. You mustn't take it so that you live and breathe that fear. You have to protect yourself from that fear. Your own light will protect you. Like Hades, you put your own protection up. You think, fuck off. You're not.
Yeah.
You, even with family
say
and friends,
no to all of it.
Say no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just say no. Draw your line.
It's all fake and gay.
Like George.
While you're saying no, can you think of a question for me to ask Runes?
Oh, Runes. Chat. Come up with a question for the room.
Yeah, nothing overly complicated or silly, you know.
No.
I'd like to know what happened to that ginger tart. Go on, if someone else will pick it up. I don't need to say anything.
Kitty's here. Do you want to join, Kitty? Stick a thumb up.
Come on, join, Kitty.
There's a lot of ginger tarts around. So
no, I'm talking about that silly old tart. That fucking.
Ooh!
Hello, Kitty.
Oh, I'm bloody on camera.
Look at you and your glittery cleavage.
I didn't realise I was on camera then. Shit.
Yeah.
Look at the cleavage like a fucking mine shaft girl.
It's almost as big as mine.
Leave the end of it. Leave it alone. It will fray out, Cookie, if you play with it. You know.
Yeah, that's right. That goes on the end, and just don't fiddle with it, like Paula says.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a question come up with a chat for the ruin. Have you got a chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kitty.
Anybody got one?
No, not yet. What's yours?
Nothing yet.
No. Question, guys. Question.
I'm thinking
I'm going to think of a question of: will Andy Burnham's claim of being relentless about them stopping the boats be believed by the public, or will it fall apart as the stupid propaganda rapidly that it really is? Yeah.
While you delve
will
into
the
your
public buy the latest Andy Burnham bullshit? Go on.
While you delve into the bottom of your sack there, Cookie, I'd like to say anyone that has not seen it, dig down. I've never seen it before. If you've never seen the Norsemen, which is the piss take of the Vikings, I thoroughly recommend it. Thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, the rape and pillaging shit is really funny.
I like the artificial hand. My warm sense of humour. I found that fucking funny. You haven't looked at it. It's worth a laugh.
Yeah.
It's a Norwegian comedy.
Oh, it's a chicken foot.
No, it's a Go on, have a look.
It's a Bootress Garley. Algaes, which means protection.
Oh. But Burnham is protected? Oh no.
No.
I was asking, will the public see through his propaganda?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Control of the emotions is an issue here. That's very true and very relevant in
very
this
apt.
respect.
Very
the
apt.
whole story of the boat people is meant to product people's emotions.
Oh yeah.
Not your rational thinking. Yeah.
Cueta. Nobody heard of Cueta before Cueta happened.
No.
Nobody.
And most of them have gone back now, haven't they?
Yeah, day trip. They were day trippers, like coach people that come on a holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, go back. Yeah.
Shifts in life's course and accelerated self-change. It's important not to collapse yourself into your emotions, the highs as well as the lows. Algaes is a mirror for the spiritual warrior, for those whose battle is always with the self. The protection of the warrior is like the warning rustle of sedge grass, or like the curved horns of the elk, for both serve to keep open space around you. I would take that as a yes. I think that the public are becoming immune to this propaganda. I think that's what this is saying. You know, this is a point where the public's mind is quite resilient to this shit now. So
like Mascara's take as well. Like, you know, don't embarrass me in front of the slaves. He's looking for something, right?
Yeah, and he's definitely just going through the motions of
please God, give me this.
Yeah, he's picking any subject he can that he can make some kind of popularist motion about, and make it seem like they're going to do stuff. You know, but the actual practicality of what they implement, like he's saying, they're going to be relentless about stopping the boats. As I mentioned earlier, the boats are a tiny fraction of the total number of people being brought into the country. They're used deliberately because they're such a visual spectacle. They're easy. It's an easy subject matter to focus people's attention on. Yeah.
Yep.
But the reality of what we would refer to as the immigration problem is way beyond just people coming across.
EasyJet.
Yeah.
I think
so
the
him
synchronicity.
saying, even if he does manage to stop the boats, it's not going to stop the demographic change of our country the way things are going. So. Yeah.
Thank you, Cookie, for the ruins.
That's racist, Rob.
Quite synchronicity, which I had no idea when I did this tonight, that I put my mirror up to reflect any negative energy that comes my way. Which is why, but I took that tonight. I thought, there's no negative energy. I'm just going to absorb and take in what comes. But anything that I don't like, I'm able, not just now, but most of the time, unless it's real life, it's like really impinging upon my own. I can go fuck off, world. Excuse me, doom scrolling or the internet or whatever's feeding into an electronic force. I can ignore only what comes into me naturally.
Yeah, but everybody can. You know.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that mirror, Paula, and thank you. You answered my question.
Yes, reflect negative energy. That's why I put it up tonight. I didn't think that we were going to have any negative thought. No, I'm just going to reflect back whatever I get. So that's.
But is that how you was feeling, probably, and it felt right that you had to do something like that, and it just came to you.
A little bit like Pete with his tighty whities on the boat. I don't know what he was putting in there.
I know.
Tonight,
I was looking at that, and it's like, oh my God, that is fantastic.
Oh, I'm going as fast as I can.
Pedal fast.
It's like really bent over. Are you on your racer or a mountain bike?
You know what the problem is? The heat in Europe has been so high, the tarmac has become sticky, and you're stuck there.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? Like, just as a final point, you know, I thought it was a bit ironic that at the advent, that's the link for the after chat, the advent of Andy Burnham coming into position as Prime Minister, pretty much timing-wise coincided with the rollout of this latest campaign of the entirety of Europe being on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got an Andy Burnham, he's Andy to get them burnt, and we're being told repeatedly that the whole fucking whole of Europe is on fire.
Don't forget, you've got the opposing view of that fucking, what's she called? Angela Raynham. So she's got the rain and the burn. Yeah. I can see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Burn them and rain on them.
Yeah.
She's fucking retarded.
Oh, she needs a slap in the face.
Fucking hell.
She's now going everywhere wearing them glasses.
Oh,
when did she wear glasses before? Now Burnham's come into position.
She wore a
All of a
helmet.
sudden look, they're exactly the same glasses as Burnham. They're just a different
but who sticks her tongue out when you say thanks like that? Is this thanks?
She must be learning from the other females.
Maybe she has a speech impediment, so don't mock the afflicted.
I was going to say that. Does she actually think like that naturally? If she doesn't, then she go on.
She has to do it that way to make sure that the snowball stays on the back of her tongue.
Oh,
thank you.
If she relaxes her mouth too much, it's all going to start spilling out again. Yeah.
She'll start dribbling.
I'm just reading the chat. Ruthless in the chat.
Woo!
I thought it was interesting the way they keep telling. If you look at the current news reports, it's heavily focused on Europe. So what's happening around the rest of the world when, you know, supposedly the entire globe's temperature has been rising, such that all of a sudden, for some unknown reason in the entirety of history, fires are just randomly going off all over the place. Only this year that's happened. In previous years, when we had the same level of temperatures, it didn't happen. But this year, all of a sudden, for some reason, this year, the vegetation has decided to spontaneously combust.
Awful when your bush, when your bush
Same here.
spontaneously catches fire. It's a dangerous situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want to watch that one?
She's there to save you all. You're safe.
Can't wait. Yeah, she looks like that. What's it called? Don't Tell 'em Pike. What you know the character from?
Dad's Army.
That's it. She looks like a Dad's Army character.
Oh yes.
Never mind.
That is the state of the defences of the United Kingdom.
Don't tell 'em, Pike.
Stupid boy.
Stupid boy, yeah. She's a fucking retard. I'm not allowed to say that, am I?
Thanks all.
No, you're not.
Yeah, Pete.
Yeah, thanks for joining in.
Thanks, Cookie. Thanks, chat.
So you're back for another Dr. Pete's show tomorrow because Rob is lazy, so I have to take it over.
Yeah.
So, he's my assistant tomorrow.
I think so.
Well, that makes it change, doesn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah.
Can I
hope he does the quiz though.
Pete, can I ask you, what are your subs like? How are you doing on your subs? Just before
we're doing really good, actually.
Good? Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm hearing you're beating Robert.
So nice that you ask, Paula. Let me check what the latest status is.
Yeah, please.
We're at 776.
Yeah.
Oh, but one more, you'll have a 777. Right.
So one more, guys. Come on.
Yeah. So who wants to be the 777? That's the question.
Yeah.
So how much do you beat Robert
It's a super lucky number. So
by one. By one.
By 1 point. Oh.
Rob doesn't count anymore. I'm not. You know, he gave up. No. I gained 33 subs this month.
Thank you, Robert, for everything you do. We do love you, even though you're a bit gay. We love you. And I love your pictures of your allotment. But try harder, work faster.
Mm-hmm.
Do more.
He told me to do shorts. I did a short and I,
And you got the extras for that.
Yeah.
I love this guy.
He regrets
I
it
bet
now.
he wish he never told you now.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it, but then again, I was trying to just use the snippet thing right of the podcast. To me, it just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't gel right for me. I think if
subscribe to Nitsit.
Yeah, subscribe to Nitsit as well.
Yeah.
I think if I specifically did a video that was meant to be short, I wouldn't feel as strange about it. But doing these snippets,
I'm too busy fucking.
He's fucking around in his allotment. He's fucking around his allotment. We love you. We love you, Robert. We love you.
Yeah, we do love you, Robert.
No, you're just too fucking busy. That's all.
Yeah, trying to do too much. That's the thing. You're meant to be retired now.
He's hurling water to his allotment. That's
Poor
what he's
Cookie.
doing.
Poor Cookie's trying to rein the circus in now. Come on,
I'm
Cookie.
just trying to bring it to a close.
I know. We'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So
After
Night, everyone.
Join
Good
us.
night.
I'm going to play some.
Join us tomorrow at Robert and Pete, Healthfreedomuk, and Pete's running this show. And then we got on Wednesday you got Pete and Cookie, and then you got Steve on Thursday.
Hi, Rob.
I don't know if Paula and I are doing a show on Friday or not. But
what?
we don't know. We'll talk about it.
What to know?
It should be this week.
It should be this week.
Come on, ladies.
Hang on, it depends how fucking busy
Get
I
on
am.
it.
Fuck off.
Yeah. And we got to discuss this first.
You're not busy tonight, so come on.
Come on. We notified probably tomorrow Wednesday. We'll let you know.
Okay.
Thank you, Cookie. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, everyone in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll shut up.
Thanks for putting me on.
Okay, everybody done?
Yep. Cool.
You sure?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, right. This song is quite a few years old. Independent artists have played it a few times over the years, but I still think it's very appropriate. And it's what you should be telling them. They can shove the propaganda up their fucking arse. Relentless propaganda means relentless arse shoving. Yes, that's a really clever way of saying things. So we'll see you again soon. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Rob's show. Cat cheese.
We're gonna return to sender, bringing an end to their hidden agenda. Remember, propaganda, return to senders, bringing an end to their hidden agendas. Educate yourself, free yourself. Don't listen to them, just believe in yourself. Don't believe in your wealth, have you headed for hell? And you better believe they've got a story to tell. Indoctrinated, intoxicated, panic pandemic, get vaccinated. Freedom slain with a crosshairs jaded, get sworn in to get assassinated. A risk and the piss taken, think we can't read between the lines, you're mistaken. Taxation, revolution, representation, an illusion. Hypnotic programming included, a recipe for paranoid delusions. What parliamentary resolution? The theory of chaos causing confusion. Propaganda, the media is a repeat offender. We're gonna return to sender, bringing an end to the hidden agenda. Remember, propaganda, return to senders, bringing an end to their hidden agendas. A crouching tiger, hidden dragons burn with fire. Famous people, steeple spires, will conspire with thieves and liars. Journalists uninspired, their unemployment to be required. Chase celebrities we admire, to find a scoop and soon be rehired. Facebook status misrepresented, to keep you on the defensive. World Wide Web broadcasting so intense, pray we be apprehensive. Beware capitalistic testaments, cash and soul invested in. Profitability laced with misdirected inequality-based advertisements. Propaganda, the media is a repeat offender. We're gonna return to sender, bringing an end to the hidden agenda. Remember, propaganda, return to senders, bringing an end to their hidden agendas. Propaganda, return to senders, bringing an end to their hidden agendas. Propaganda, the media is a repeat offender. We're gonna return to sender, bringing an end to their hidden agenda. Remember, propaganda, return to senders, bringing an end to their hidden agendas. Take a step back from what we know. Propaganda, in other words, means promote. They try to use this to cause division. Guns and ammunition for a new mission. Executive decision. So malevolent, tell the people Armageddon imminent. Take the immigrant as the militant, easy to see through to the intelligent. So, do we need a miracle? So, do we need an oracle? Yes, we can be indivisible as a people, phenomenal, incredible. But you better believe we've got a story to tell. Believe in your health, don't believe in your wealth. Don't listen to them, just believe in yourself. Educate yourself, free yourself. Propaganda, the media is a repeat offender. We're gonna return to sender, bringing an end to the hidden agenda. Remember, propaganda, return to senders, bringing an end to their hidden agendas. Propaganda, return to senders, bringing an end to their hidden agendas. Propaganda, the media is a repeat offender. We're gonna return to sender, bringing an end to their hidden agenda. Remember, propaganda, return to senders, bringing an end to their hidden agendas.
The Spanish Inquisition.
Welcome to your awakening. Please take off as your reality is adjusted.